If you're a QuickBooks customer looking to grow without the growing pains, you need the Intuit ERP, the AI native ERP that upgrades right from QuickBooks. Learn more at intuit.com/ERP.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Women's Soccer Show Summer Series, Episode 5. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Allie.
And we've got a lot to discuss. It's the summer. We've got a little bit of WSL news. Not much. It was pretty quiet, finally, for the first time in a while. Got Women's Africa Cup of Nations has kicked off. And we've got NWSL, obviously, in full swing. And lots coming out of the NWSL. Big results, big news, some good, some potentially bad. We will cover it all. How are you doing, Allie?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk. We have also producer Mike back, which makes me very happy. We've got Mike in the box.
It makes me very happy, too.
He might be coming out of the box later. Who knows?
And we're back on video because of that. Thank you to Mike and his ability to edit video, which neither of us have. Oh, yeah, I guess I missed in the rundown. We've also got Allie, a different game that we're playing. Instead of Around the World for this summer series, we're doing a game that Allie is bringing to us, a new one each week. All right, we're going to talk a little WSL and Africa Cup of Nations. And as we mentioned, it's been a relatively light week in terms of transfer news in the WSL, which makes sense. There's been a lot of news of recent, so it's been a quieter week. We had to have one eventually. But, as ever, Allie has flagged something to me that, to be honest, it would have floated past my screen and I would have been like, okay, whatever, let them do what they're going to do. And instead it floated past Allie's screen and they were like, this is some Michelle Kang stuff that I don't like again. So what's going on? It's not quite WSL, but it pertains to a WSL club. So let's talk about it.
It's some Michelle Kang nonsense is what it is. So, on the 29th of August, you can watch the MasterCard Cup, which is between the London City Lionesses and Lyon. Okay, it's a friendly. It is a pre-season friendly that there is going to be some silverware at the end of. Why?
Why not?
Because it's nonsense, that's why.
It's a friendly. We're going to get ready for season.
Yes, I have no issue with that. I have issue with the fact that silverware is being awarded at the end of it. Because that then it cheapens everything. I'm like, why? Like, I know my beloved West Ham did it when they were sponsored by a gambling company. They played the other teams that were sponsored by the same gambling company and it became a thing and they won it twice. Whatever. Do we brag about the fact that we won the Betway Cup? No. It's so dumb. I'm just like...
But isn't it okay that, like, I don't know, like, maybe this is something that can exist on an annual basis. It's fun. If London City gets better, it'll be like two good clubs playing against each other.
I have nothing against the match itself, but why is there silverware? Why is there a trophy at the end? Why is there medals? Like, Michelle Kang, have a competition between all the teams you own. That's fine. Why is there silverware at the end of it?
I'm trying to play a little devil's advocate because I'm kind of like, why not? But I see what you're saying because it's just why. I don't think it cheapens anything though. Like, do you really think that London City fans or like Lyon fans are going to be out there being like, we won the MasterCard Cup? No.
Lyon, no. London City fans, the few that they have, probably.
You're so sassy today. Listen, will it be a feat if London City can beat Lyon? For sure. I feel like that's more bragging rights than a little cup. But I don't mind that they're calling it this. If they're getting the game sponsored, whatever. It's dumb, yes. If they win money, great. If not, it's whatever. It's whatever.
It's giving me, and this is probably a reference that's very lost on you as an American, and I'm very sorry about this, but it's giving me the boat race that we have over here in the UK, which is between Oxford and Cambridge every single year, and no other university takes part. It's always Oxford and Cambridge. It's giving me this. It's just like a rich lady owns two teams, and she's like, right, Hunger Games, let's battle commence. And I'm just like, no.
That was the most English reference I've heard from you in a while.
Occasionally I am English,
So that is being played. If you are interested in it, there's no shame, and you should go or you should watch if you're interested. Right, Allie?
The game itself, I have no issue with. I'm like, cool, this will be a fun game to pre-season. Great, it's actually nice that a preseason's being advertised, because half of the time it's not. It's like yesterday I found out West Ham played a preseason game that nobody knew about. That's fine. It's the fact that there is a trophy and medals at the end. It's giving everyone's a winner, participation. And I'm like, no.
Everybody gets a medal?
Well, yeah, because you're going to have a winner and a loser. They're all going to get a medal, and then the winner gets a cup.
I'm going to guess only the winners are going to get a medal here.
No, the second place will also get a medal, because they'll get
You're
a silver medal.
confirming this, like you know this for sure.
Because that's what happens in these stupid
You're
things.
assuming just like I'm assuming.
Michelle Kang will get a medal, and she will do the trophy lift because she wins no matter who wins the game.
I feel the need to say that while Allie makes it seem like we are Michelle Kang haters, we are not, and we appreciate what she's doing about the world in the world of women's football. And people like Allie are also good because what she's doing also needs to be challenged. For example, like it needs to be talked about if she's buying up multiple clubs in Europe and just transferring players among them. It does need to be talked about. Just to defend you, Allie, because I feel I don't know if I'm just too sensitive to it, but I feel like you're coming across as a hater, and I want people to know you're not, that this is a necessary conversation to have.
Yes.
Okay. It's funny, I did see an interview pop up on my socials because I was on there a little bit this week, and it was Michelle Kang saying that her goal was to buy one team in every continent. And I was kind of like contemplating this, and I was just like, I feel like she got sidetracked a little bit.
I was going to say, because she's already bought 2 in Europe.
Moving on from that news, we're going to talk Africa Cup of Nations, Allie, because
a trophy that matters.
A trophy that matters, yes.
So yeah, we're going to talk about the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, a trophy that actually matters. I'm uber excited about it, but before we talk about results and we talk about the few games that have kicked off, there was a little bit of controversy over here in the UK regarding broadcast rights.
Yeah, tell me about this. You and Mike were chatting about this. There's nothing like that happening here. We covered Africa Cup of Nations on last week's episode, just a little bit like about the Africa Cup of Nations this year, what to look out for, who's debuting, so on and so forth. And we also covered how you can watch it. For both the UK and the US, at the time last week, you could watch it through beIN Sports, BEIN Sports. They hold the official rights for North America, so if you're in Canada as well. What's going on over there?
So it appears it's come out that Channel 4, who are doing more for women's sport now, had bought the rights to the Women's African Cup of Nations when they bought the rights to the Men's Cup of Nations, African Cup of Nations. It was like a package deal that they...
Can I tell you I'm scared? I'm scared with the start of this. Did they know that it was a package deal?
This is the thing. So they bought it as a package deal, right? So, and it got announced everywhere that if you want to watch, you can watch every game for free. It's going to be on free-to-air TV on Channel 4. You can watch it. So people turned over to watch the first game to kick off the African Cup of Nations, and there was a rerun of a reality TV show. It seems that Channel 4 have not picked up the option to show the Women's African Cup of Nations, but because they own the rights to it,
nobody can watch it anywhere.
Nobody can watch it anywhere.
Okay. So what's being done about it?
Nothing.
And this is just sitting there.
Yeah. So you can still watch it on beIN Sports because that transcends a lot of things. But a lot of people don't know about it. It's not advertised that that's what you can do. I had to do a lot of Googling when we talked about it last week to see how you could watch it. But the fact it was advertised everywhere that Channel 4 have got it, it's going to be on free-to-air. This is fantastic. And then, yeah, you turn over onto the first game and it was a... rerun, not even a live or new thing. It was a rerun of a reality competition show. Come dine with me if anyone's interested.
Unbelievable.
And it was official. It wasn't just like people assumed. Like literally the African Federation, CAF, said, people of the UK, you can watch this on Channel 4. They bought the rights when they bought the men's. And no.
Ridiculous. So did you get to watch, Allie? Because it just started on Sunday. For those who were listening last week, we went through quite a bit of this, so we're not going to cover, we're not going to go backwards, I suppose, and talk more about set up the teams. Have you watched, Allie?
I actually have, because I love watching. It's weird. I like international football when it doesn't involve my country because it's less stressful. So
and when it doesn't involve my country either, I feel like you don't
yeah,
care.
I don't care about the US women's team, that whatever. But yeah, so but
Allie likes Iceland, most basically Japan.
I love Japan.
And a lot of African nations. And I would say, am I missing anything?
No, that's about right.
Yeah, I feel like that's who you really fancy. That's who you love to watch.
I do. It's true.
Which is funny because those are three really different styles.
Yeah, you can't say that I'm not a multifaceted person, but yeah. So this has been really intriguing for me. So we've got some results so far. Algeria beat Senegal 2-0. Morocco beat Kenya 4-0. And for those that don't remember, the infamous coach Jorge Vilda is Morocco's coach. So that was a bit of a jump scare because I forgot he was still involved, and then they panned to the bench, and I was like, "Oh!"
I also forgot. That's brutal.
So yes, that was a bit of a jump scare. But the game that's happened so far that all of us that are watching are talking about is Tanzania versus South Africa, because South Africa, as we mentioned last week, are favourites. They are up there. You know, they have won it before. They have the federation with some of the most funding for their women's team, and they got beat by Tanzania 2-1. And yeah, it was a brutal game for South Africa. I think it was definitely a wake-up call for them, because I think they thought that it was going to be not easy, but it was going to, be a nice, gentle start into the AFCON, and it was not.
I love this. I mean, okay, so the tournament has expanded this year. There are 2 debutantes in both, correct me if I'm wrong, Allie, Cape Verde and Malawi. And listen, when you see results like this, it's not a huge surprise, but it's a surprise in the sense that this is a great indicator, as we knew, but it's fun when we get to see results that indicate what we know, which is that women's football is growing a lot in Africa, in the entire continent. There's a lot more nations that are being competitive in the World Cup on the world stage, and the sport is growing within the continent of Africa as well. And this is a product of that. Now, South Africa were favorites, but favorites with like an asterisk, Allie, right? Because they're kind of like favorites as the underdog dark horse. Like they could upset, but we all know the favorites are Nigeria. It's the Super Falcons, who they've won 11 times.
Morocco are also up there because they're hosting, and also they have invested a lot, and they've got some like ex-WSL players and things like that in there. But yeah, but they're still up there, and yeah, and like Tanzania for me, so they went in the lead first, and then just before halftime, South Africa equalised. In that dangerous spot where you're like, you go in, and it was 1-1, and it was very similar to a lot of games where like South Africa had all the possession, and then Tanzania nicked it in the 87th minute. It was a fun game to watch, I have to say. So if you can watch the Cup of Nations wherever you are, please do, because you'll see some great football
on beIN Sports. I also would like to correct myself. I said Nigeria, the Super Falcons, had won 11 WAFCON Cups. They've won 10. They're going for their 11th. I just want to correct myself there. Okay, other results, Allie. Should we just rip through these? Anything that stood out to you? Algeria beat Senegal. Morocco beat Kenya. We are recording this we're just behind the curtain. We're recording this on Monday, so we're not just going to go through the results because other games have happened, because this is the group stage. So we got games every day, everybody, every day. So let's just talk through the groups, who is in each group, and maybe let's have some fun here. Pick our favorite to win the group.
Oh, wow. Oh, now you're putting us all on the spot. I like it.
Not like who goes 1, 2. We don't have to rank like who's going to end up 1, 2, 3, 4 in each group. Just who's going to win the group.
No. Okay, so Group A is Morocco, Algeria, Senegal, and Kenya. It's going to be a toss-up between Algeria and Morocco, I think. I think Morocco will probably edge it just because of the funding that they've got and the players they've got.
Unfortunately, I'm going to give it to Morocco, and I say that only unfortunately because of who their head coach is. I have nothing against these players.
Group B is Tanzania, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, and South Africa. Now, before the game, I would have had my money on South Africa, but Tanzania are looking scary because they can grind out a result. So maybe we wait until after Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso have played, but for me, it might be Tanzania takes the...
Wow. I might throw a curveball out there. Listen, South Africans can still win it, even though can still win the group. Part of me wants to throw a curveball and just say Ivory Coast. I'm going to say South Africa will still win it. I think Tanzania might blunder. Let's find out. I'm going to go South Africa.
We'll see. Group C is Egypt, Malawi, Nigeria, and Zambia.
Yeah, this is the group of death. Yeah, this is the group of death. Okay, so for those who aren't familiar, the dark horse in this one is Malawi.
Yes.
Even though they are debutantes, you look at who is on this roster, and there's a lot of great talent coming out of Malawi, specifically the Shawinga sisters, obviously, and Tabitha and Temwa, who are both going to play in that forward line. And I mean, we know how much Temwa Shawinga alone influences the Kansas City Current. How much can she do alongside Tabitha Shawinga when you have both of them? Malawi might be a dark horse here, but this is the group of death.
For sure, this is the group of death. Also, I've just realized Malawi's nickname is the Scorchers, which is a great nickname.
I love that.
I think you are a bit of a fool if you don't go for Nigeria.
I think so too, but I want to be a fool. I also want to be a fool.
You want to have some faith in the underdog.
I'm gonna go Zambia. I'm gonna go Barbara Banda, and Zambia are gonna they're gonna win against Egypt. They're gonna win against Malawi, and then they can just maybe nick it against Nigeria one time. I think at the end of the day, Nigeria will go further, but I think maybe Zambia could win the group. Just for the fun of it. Why not?
Why not?
Zambia know how to play an upset.
That's true.
You know, they're very good at that, actually, in tournaments.
And then the final group, Group D, is Cameroon, Cape Verde, Ghana, and Mali. I would love it to be Cape Verde. Another the debutantes.
It probably won't be, though, let's be honest.
It very much probably won't be, but I can dream, like with my Icelandic dreams, I can dream. It's probably going to be Ghana.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
If I'm honest, it's probably going to be Ghana.
Yeah. All right. Those are our selections. Don't miss out on this, everybody. International football is so much fun. And the Africa Cup of Nations is a special time. And so go to BN Sports and check it out.
It is game time now here at the Women's Soccer Show. And we have brought in challenger Mike to take on Sarah in this week's game. I'm very excited by this one.
I'm not. I'm nervous.
Yeah, Mike is also less excited because it's going to involve more editing for him.
Yes, this is a visual game. So Mike, you're going to make a graphic? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm going to make a graphic. Yeah. So which hopefully you're seeing on your screen right now.
Yeah. Let's hope. For those, actually nobody here will know who's listening. Mike made an amazing graphic for Around the World for the theme song that we sing every time, that I sing every time. But for some kind of rights reason. Remember this, Mike, a while ago?
Yes.
It's like a little plane and it hops around the world, but we don't have the rights to that animation. So we can't show everybody, but just know it's fantastic.
Basically, Mike helps feed my fever dreams because I will go to him, dude, can you make me a graphic and really badly explain something? And then within like 20 minutes, the graphic I want is here.
So we're really picking up this graphic that doesn't exist yet. So let's dial it back a bit.
So for the game time, I'm going to have to call it both things because when I called it the English thing, Sarah didn't know what it was.
No, you're going to have to explain what you call it to anybody who probably isn't English. I'm going to guess calls it what I call it.
So this is basically a game of player tic-tac-toe or noughts and crosses if you're English, which is there are categories going across and down, and you have to put in a player that fits both categories. So an example would be a West Ham, NWSL. You could then pick Rachel Daly. Played for both West Ham, has played in the NWSL.
Now, Mike's going back on its stand, just so you guys know.
But it's competitive, and so you have to be strategic because you need to get 3 in a line. That can be a diagonal line, that can be a horizontal line, that can be a vertical line. You also cannot use the same player even if they fit the category. So you have to use a different player for each spot. Now
got it.
I feel like Mike will have an advantage because I sent the categories over and Sarah saw them all of 2 seconds ago. So Mike might have some more preparation.
I didn't.
Time.
I'm looking at them. I didn't look at them ahead of time out of respect. So
I was just trying to make it more fair, Mike. I was trying to give you the head start you deserve.
Yeah, you know? I think that is probably fair.
So the categories are, and if the graphic has worked wonderfully, then it will be across is Arsenal, Chelsea, Champions League winner. Vertically, it's England, Spain, and the USA. And by that, I mean they have played for their national
US women's
team.
National team, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's both. You've played for England's national team, Spain, or the USA. That's where the category. Not that you just are English, Spanish, and then the US national team.
Understood.
So, do we want to do like a coin flip for who goes first, or how do you want to?
Mike should go first.
That's very generous of you.
We're
going to go nice and easy down the line. Arsenal, England, Alessia Russo.
Nice.
Correct.
That was a tough one. That was a real tough one.
So that is the top.
Only a couple.
Top left corner goes to Michael.
Arsenal, US women's national team. Jenna Neiswanger.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay, that is bottom left to Sarah.
Has minutes for both.
It counts.
In that case, can I go England Champions League winner, Leah Williamson?
Yep, you can. Now, Sarah, you've got to go Chelsea, England.
Oh, I have to go Chelsea, England, or Mike wins.
Yes, you have to go Chelsea, England, or Michael wins.
Okay, Millie Bright.
Correct. So you're...
This is funny because I'm just trying to visualize all of the X's and O's, you know, because I didn't actually start writing them down.
No, me neither. I'm also struggling with that.
Let me start writing them down.
It's funny how every player goes out of your head because
I know, right?
Champions League winner, Spain, Aitana Bonmati.
Hey, there we go. So now...
And I don't think I've left myself open to a loss there by doing that.
No, but now I have to go US Women's National Team and Champions League winner.
You do.
That's actually a hard crossover.
But there is more than you think.
It's funny because I could have used Jenna Neiswanger here too. I think she was on Arsenal.
Would she have got a medal? Would need to fact check that if it came up. I'd be lodging a complaint with VAR if that came up.
I think Allie Krieger has.
Ding, ding, ding. She has. She won it with Lyon.
I also feel like Alex Morgan did back in the day.
She did. That's what I said. There was more than...
This is now a trivia question.
It was more than you thought, because I could only think of a couple, and then I Googled to make sure.
So presumably Emily Fox also has one.
This is why I was like,
I didn't think about Emily Fox.
This is the thing for me. I was like, Sarah's a US Team National fan and an Arsenal fan. I was like, it's going to be Emily Fox. Why is she taking so long? It's going to be Emily Fox.
I thought, because you've gone Arsenal US for Jenna Neiswanger. I thought to leave that open, to leave the Fox option open.
That's so funny. I can't believe this is exactly what you were saying though, Mike. Like every player just leaves your brain.
There's one that I simply cannot think of. So I need to go Chelsea US, right? That's what I need to block off.
Yeah.
You do.
Kat Macario? She's got caps, right?
Yeah.
That cap.
suddenly panicked that she never got a cap. I was like, she must have done.
If I'm doing my math right, we're officially gonna draw no matter what here.
Yes.
Okay. So I can just pick whatever category I want. So there's two categories left, right? It's a Spain Arsenal crossover and it's a Chelsea Spain crossover.
Correct.
I mean, I knew which category you were stuck on when you said it, Mike. I'm debating if I want to leave it for you or if I don't want to leave it for you.
It's fair. It's entirely fair.
I'm gonna try to get it because I feel like I'm up for the challenge right now. Hard.
So no one is coming to mind.
No one's coming to mind.
Yeah, this one was a hard one.
Probably some like obscure players from back in the day.
There was one quite recently, but yes.
You can take the low hanging fruit, and then I'll bow out if.
I feel like I'm missing something obvious. Am I missing something obvious, Allie?
For Chelsea, Spain?
Yeah.
No.
It's not obvious.
It's not obvious.
Okay, that makes me feel slightly better.
That makes me feel better. Yeah.
It's not like Bonmati played for them and you're like, forgot.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I forgot Emily Fox, so I really had to.
Well, that's true.
Okay. Sorry, Mike. I'm going to leave it for you. Let's go. What's the crossover? It's Arsenal, Spain?
Yes.
Mariona Caldente.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes.
So we're tied now. Even if I get this, I can't.
Yeah.
Can I get a clue? Is there a clue you can give me that would help?
She played for Chelsea as of last season.
Last season?
Mm-hmm. She's not very well known. Like, it's not, like I said, it's not like you're missing.
Yeah, how many caps?
Okay.
Did she go to any major tournaments?
She's mainly played for the unders, but she does have at least one senior cap.
Okay, I feel like I'm not going to get this. I'm happy to bow out.
Julia Bartel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get that one.
Yeah. No. I don't feel so bad about not getting that one.
No, like I said, that one took some knowledge.
That was fun. So it was a draw. Handshake.
Yeah. Very well done.
Yes.
Good work.
Yeah. Good work. Well done.
Points are shared. 1 point each.
Yes. You could also, if you went way back, you could also have had Adriana Martin. She has 23 caps for Spain.
For the record, upon a quick Google, my spidey senses were tingling, and I didn't think Julia Bartel actually had a.
I've also just looked that up.
She does
She's
not.
never played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Wikipedia lied to me.
No Spanish senior national team caps either. Just U23.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just. Obviously, that's still impressive, but like.
Yeah. Then Adriana Martin would have been your answer.
It's wild that that's such a limited category.
So we are now going stateside to the NWSL. But before we talk games and table implications from this weekend, some news has come out from leagues across England, and we want to talk about it here because the US have a similar yet different rule for to combat the same thing. So we are talking about the tactical timeout from a goalkeeper. We've all seen it. We've all heard it. Players tell goalkeepers, stay down, sit.
Yeah, and it's become more and more popular, I'd say, in the past couple of years alone.
100%. But I remember Ellie Roebuck making her senior debut at Manchester City against Chelsea, and she went down, and Jill Scott was like, "Stay put." So it's been a thing for a while, but it infuriates fans. It infuriates opposition. So leagues are trying to combat that, and so the NWSL do it one way. The WSL will now do it another way. So, Sarah, do you want to break down how the NWSL does it, and then I will break down what the WSL are doing?
I would love to. Thank you. Really quick, this was implemented. There were a few new rules implemented at the beginning of the season for the NWSL. This was one of them. Notably, the other ones were VAR. VAR decisions will be communicated by the referee. Obviously, VAR was new. I think it was 2 years ago. My memory is so bad right now. I don't know if it's 1 or 2 years ago. VAR isn't new, but the communication from the referee, that's new. RefCam is new. A bunch of other things, including what they're calling the new goalkeeper injury rule, which is that players may not approach their team's technical area if players do approach the technical area during a stoppage for a goalkeeper injury. The team and or head coach may be subject to league discipline. Now, there's like little caveats where they can approach their team's technical area if the injured goalkeeper is substituted off prior to the restart, but whether the goalkeeper goes down and there's no physio, or they go down and there is physio, the teams can congregate, but they just have to congregate on the field. They cannot go to the sideline and chat with their coach.
Which is a good rule. I do like that.
But it's like, in comparison to what we're about to hear for the WSL, it's a very light rule.
Yes, whereas we are going, and this is not just a WSL rule, this is something that the English FA is bringing out across the board. It's going to be in the men's and women's. So the rule is now that if your goalkeeper needs the physio to come on for treatment, you have 10 seconds to decide which player is coming off, and they have to stay off for as long as the physio and everything is happening. And then if you don't decide within 10 seconds, your captain comes off.
The technicality of this is that the removed outfield player has to stay off the pitch for a minimum of 1 minute after play restarts, which I really like. Like, if you're going down for an injury, then there's no reason the goalkeeper going down should be any different than a outfield player going down. And because we're protecting goalkeepers, which we should, and we want to keep them on the field, which we should, that's why we are where we are, because we had rules that protected them, and then now they're being abused by teams, and now we have to course correct for it. I really like this. I will say really quickly, just because I have this up in front of me, key exemptions for this WSL or all of the entirety of the FA rule in England will be that the temporary player removal does not apply if the goalkeeper is fouled and immediately requires a free kick treatment. The goalkeeper and an outfield player collide and they both require attention, or if the goalkeeper is bleeding. So for those of you hearing this and saying this is really harsh, what if somebody's actually hurt and then they don't want treatment because then they have to play a person down for 60 seconds? No, it seems like that has been corrected for. If somebody's actively bleeding, if there was a big collision and maybe a stretcher needs to be put on the field, maybe there's a concussion, that has been eliminated.
Yeah, which I think is fair, because what we're trying to stop is just when you suddenly see a goalkeeper sitting down and plays at the other end of the pitch. Because 9 times out of 10, it's either a cramp or they're doing it tactically.
I'm not going to lie, I really like this rule, and I like it more than the NWSL's rule, because I think it's more harsh and I want the harsher penalties.
Yeah. And they've already tried to do it with the count. I'm intrigued to see how it's implemented, because they tried to do it with the goal kick countdown, saying that you can't take more than, I think it was either 8 or 10 seconds for a goal kick before a corner is awarded to the opposition. That hasn't been in any way, shape or form implemented.
I agree. Yeah. This is easier to implement, which I like.
Yes.
All right. Now let's talk NWSL, Allie, shall we? Where do we want to begin? There's a lot we can start with.
Oh, there is so much. Okay, we can talk games in a bit, and we will lead on to games after this. But we mentioned this at the beginning of our season when the NWSL started, and now I want to bring us back to it, which is there a discipline problem in the NWSL? And I'm being serious. You're laughing at me. I'm being serious.
No, I just forgot that we were going to talk about this. I forgot. Yes, we did talk about this early on, like after the first weekend of the NWSL, because there were so many red cards just to even start the season. But we haven't talked about it since. And I kind of thought it was a fluke in the first few weeks of the season. It was like, okay, well, I don't think this trend is going to continue as it has. But it certainly has. There were a total of 11 red cards issued during the entirety of the 2025 season.
Mm-hmm.
For 2026, there have already been 12 red card dismissals in this NWSL season. Mind you, we are just past the halfway mark. We're basically at the halfway mark right now.
Yes, and 3 teams have 3 of them. So to name and shame, Boston Legacy, Bay FC, and Portland all have 3 red cards this season.
I think that they're explainable, to be totally honest with you. Like, I think Boston is getting a reputation for fouling a lot, for fouling hard, for playing physical.
They are the worst in terms of discipline records. They've got 35 yellow cards and 3 red cards.
They play physical. We can't deny that. They certainly do. Some of these can be explained, like Bay FC, one time Jordan Silkowitz, goalkeeper, got red carded. She came out of the box. She punched the ball with her hand outside of the box, and it was a decision that she made. That was a red card. Okay, that's not like a disciplinary. It's obviously disciplinary, but when you think about, like, these teams are getting disciplined,
it's not like a violent foul.
Exactly. So I mean, yeah, I'm glad you named and shamed, though, because we were all curious. Let's not lie about it. Notably, 3 of the first 12 dismissals have come as a result of hair pulling incidents, which I feel like is a rare occurrence, and suddenly we're seeing it pop up quite a bit. I guess the question here is why? Is play more physical? Is the reffing a little more intense? Is it being ref differently? What do you think?
I do think it is probably a mixture too. I do think that refs are trying to be a bit more on it, like we've seen with, because there were so many infamous hair pulls, for example, that were not called. We think of the one, obviously Katie McCabe in the Champions League against Alyssa Thompson. So we've had things. So I think there's definitely been a case to be more on it. But also I do feel like that a lot of players are just going, why not? Go in for it and let's see what they can do.
I don't know what it is. I really don't. Part of me wants to blame VAR. VAR was introduced for the start of the 2023 season, for the record. I just confirmed. So this will be actually the 4th season, I believe, with VAR, which is kind of wild to me. Listen, I mean, we all know, everybody who listens to this podcast knows that I take issue with VAR. And I don't take issue with it for what it's meant to be used for. It's not meant to re-referee a game. It's meant to correct for the clear and obvious that was missed. And I think that part of VAR, just across the entirety of football, men's, women's, domestic, international, I think that's actually what has changed. I don't know if that's the reason we're seeing this many more red cards in the NWSL for this amount, for the pace we're on, for it to basically double for this season. There have to be a lot of factors beyond just one and beyond just VAR. I can't put it on that. But I will say, I do think that games are just getting re-refereed a little too much by VAR. And I'm not a fan of it. And we have so many long stoppages no matter what. And I mean, it's a good transition for us to talk about the Gotham-Portland game, because that's a perfect example for me of let's not re-referee the game. And I felt this way, let's just say, even since 2006. For those who were watching the Men's World Cup final in 2006, when Zinedine Zidane got a red card for headbutting and the ref didn't see it, VAR didn't exist, but the big Jumbotron replayed it. The referee saw it on the Jumbotron, red card for Zidane. I believe that's why France lost that game. Am I still salty about it? Probably a little bit, but let's just say this is not a new feeling for me. And it's probably wrong, because I know what you're going to say, which is very English of you too, which is like, a rule is a rule and you broke the rule and this is the punishment.
Yes. I don't know how we can disagree on that. My last point on this, and then we will talk about the Gotham game, is, and this is why I think there is a discipline problem, because the last season, Utah Royals were the bad guys in the fact they had the worst with 56 points. As an accumulation, you get discipline points. It's 1 per yellow card, 3 per red card. So they had 56 points. Yeah, halfway through the season, you say? We're pretty much at the halfway mark.
Pretty much. We're a little past, but yeah.
Boston Legacy have 44 points. I'm just saying, let the stats speak for themselves.
Listen, there are more rivalries. Games are more heated. We love that. I feel like that's probably contributing to it. That's what we've wanted from the NWSL. We knew it would take time to get here, because when a league is brand new, you can't have a rivalry. You can't have teams that hate each other for years on years and years and years. And we're starting to get there, and that's good too. Now let's talk, speaking of rivalries, one that maybe is a budding rivalry for at least this season that we might see in the postseason, which I'm very excited about. And we circled this game last week knowing it was going to be a big battle at the top of the table. Portland hosted Gotham FC in Providence Park. There is so much to discuss about this game, about Gotham. There's a lot of news. Should we just start? Where do you want to start?
So, we're going to start. So, Gotham got very quick off the mark. Scored a goal within 2 minutes. Midge Purse doing Midge Purse things. And then all hell broke loose.
Congratulations to anybody who attended this game, because it's pretty great. Renee Lyles scored for Portland in the 21st minute. We went into halftime tied up at 1-1, and then the second half was pretty eventful. Jessie Fleming scored in the 53rd minute. Sam Kerr scored. Sam Kerr scored her first Gotham goal.
Yes, she's assisted a few, but this was her first.
But this was her first one about 10 minutes later, and then about 10 minutes after that, Jaden Perry of Portland Thorns got sent off with a red card. Let's start with the red card, perhaps.
Yeah, so honestly, I think that was a clear-cut red. That one, it was a shirt pull. If any of you didn't see it, it was Sam Kerr was away, shirt pull to stop her, denied the goals. Yeah, denying a goal scoring opportunity. You know what you're doing. Clear red.
So clear cut. Clear as day. I don't think anybody can have any argument about what just happened. You're the last offender, you pull a shirt, red card, done. And you brought then something to me, which go on then.
No, it's just what you were like, you and your rules. You British and your rules.
I do think this is circulating the internet, so I think we should discuss it.
It is. So Jordan Dudley, who you know I love, I think she has been phenomenal for Gotham. She has been an absolute bright spark.
Rookie of the year, in my opinion.
Rookie of the absolutely phenomenal player. Got into a bit of a tangle with a Portland player and pretty much body slams her to the floor. Like, has her hand on her neck, player go down. Nothing. No yellow, no red, nothing. And it's like, if we're being really stringent and we're talking about a discipline problem in the NWSL, the fact that got nothing.
Okay, so we just watched it. We just watched it again. It's a foul. Like, everybody is saying that should have been a red as well. Jordan Dudley should have been sent off. That's a red card. I'm having trouble forming an argument for my case right now.
I get it, because you're saying that you shouldn't re-ref the game and the ref didn't see it.
Yeah, that's essentially my argument. Why are we re-refereeing a game?
But is that not a clear and obvious something that the ref has missed?
I guess that's really a technicality of VAR, where it's like, okay, is this actually going around and trying to pick up things that referees missed? Or is this a referee made a decision and we're just going to confirm that this wasn't a clear and obvious blunder?
Yeah.
And I take it as more of the latter, where the referee is reffing the game and calls a foul, and VAR is there to make sure that wasn't a massive blunder to call that foul. The VAR isn't like trotting behind the referee, scanning the field, being like, oh, actually you missed that and you missed that. Well, that was a pretty clear foul, but you missed it. That, to me, that's re-refereeing a game. That's like having another referee on the field. So I think if the ref had called this in the moment, I know this is a ridiculous answer. Let me just say this. I know that, but I'm going to say it anyways. If the ref had called this in the moment, given a red card, I'd be sitting here being like, it's hard for me to argue anything about that. However, the referee didn't. And everybody is making the argument that VAR should then step in and re-referee this foul for it to be a red card. And I just don't think so. I just don't think that's the job of VAR. So I think that's where we miss in what we think. I think we both agree that this is a brutal foul and worthy of a red card. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, and like I said, I love you, Jordan Dunn. You know I do. I think you've been a revelation for Gotham, but that was not it.
It's not it. And I also have a hard time blaming her. Like, she's been, just to be explicit, she's been getting the shit kicked out of her all season. And she's been frustrated. And that is a young player who's been frustrated because people are having trouble defending her. And because they're having trouble defending her, they're resorting to physicality. And she got frustrated. And I get it. And that is a foul worthy of a red card for sure. Do I think VAR should have gone back and re-awarded it? No.
But as the game as a whole, obviously the other big talking point is Sonnet. Because Sonnet, again, as ever, and I say this now ever since you told me the story, Sonnet is the answer to most things in life. Unfortunately, it went down very early in an off-ball, like, off contact moment. It's not been confirmed. We don't know. But if you've watched enough of these, you get a sixth sense about what it could be, and it does feel like it's the dreaded 3.
It's brutal. Yeah, as of the time of recording, there's nothing. It was really early on in the game. It was like the 7th minute. Really what happened is just like Sonnet planted, and that was it, and went down. No contact. Left knee is suspected. That's all we know. Was stretchered off. Just a horrible moment. It's always a horrible moment. Unfortunately, I think we've seen an ACL now in each of the last, not to assume this is an ACL. We've seen a knee injury in each of the last now 3 weekends. If this is an ACL, that's 3 consecutive weekends with ACLs. First it was June Endo. Last weekend was Jordan Huitema. And this past weekend, Emily Sonnet goes down. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And that's a massive loss for this Gotham team if she's going to be out for an extended period of time. And for the US Women's National Team, this is July. We're 12 months. We just basically hit the 365-day mark in terms of we are a year out from the World Cup. So make no mistake. Obviously, we've seen people return from ACL injuries. Again, I'm just saying, we know this is not confirmed that it's an ACL. I'm just saying, if it is, we've seen people return in smaller amounts of time, 7, 8, 9 months. We also have seen plenty of cases where your body just responds differently and it takes a long time. So we are a year out from the World Cup. We have to look at this with a bird's eye view and think potentially if this is what we hope it's not, it could have big implications on the US Women's National Team as well.
For sure. So we just send our healing thoughts to Sonnet because nobody wants to see people go out like that.
No, just one of those things that obviously transcends any kind of competition, any kind of sport. You see anybody go down, no matter who it is, your heart breaks for them. Other news out of Gotham FC that was announced this past week, Esther Gonzalez and Gotham FC have mutually agreed to terminate the contract. She's going to step away from football for a moment and tend to personal matters in Spain. That is what was announced by both Esther and Gotham FC. So we were having a big debate, Allie, about who was going to get the minutes, Sam Kerr or Esther Gonzalez. It's going to be Sam Kerr. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's one of those things because I feel like we don't know what it is. She hasn't said. It must be pretty serious because we've seen it before where Sydney Leroux was allowed to step away just for a little bit, get her mental health back together, and then has come back. It does sound now if they've agreed to terminate the contract completely, that she doesn't want to be in NYC for the foreseeable because of it.
Or in the football world. I mean, the statement literally says she's going to take a step away from football. So we hope everything's okay with her and her family and everything. Wow, so much, Allie. Should we rip through the games now? Should we talk about results? We figured, for those of you listening, we figured to preview this weekend on last week's episode. We just ran through each game and we had a quick little sentence on each game. We thought, why not run through the results like that as well?
Yeah, because there was some craziness happened.
There was some craziness. So let's do it.
So let's start. So the first one was Houston Dash beat Bay FC 1-0. For me, those games were always like a toss-up. Who was going to take it, if anyone?
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, this was a game that not a lot of people had circled on their calendars. I'm a little surprised just because if you look at the trends for each of those teams, it seemed like Bay was maybe on the up and up. They had 1-2 straight. Houston hadn't won in quite a while, but they got their first win in quite a while over Bay right there. I mean, they're so even on points. Houston has 19, Bay has 18 now. So it was a little shocking just based on how they'd done of recent, but these are two teams that are not going to be vying for a playoff spot, but nice to see some life coming out of Houston.
Yep. No, 100%. Orlando beat Chicago. Again, another one that wasn't particularly a surprise, though it did take them a long time.
Yeah. Listen, Chicago have been playing better, at least. They are starting to solve the problem of leaking goals, which is a really big problem, and they're starting to solve it. And that comes with a lot of things. Number one, obviously, we talked about the signing of the Spanish defender, Leila Wahabi, from Manchester City. that was a new addition. She was available starting 2 weeks ago. But yeah, Orlando, it took them until the 88th minute. Julie Doyle opened her account and got the win, got the game winner for Orlando. And I will say notably, the most notably for me personally and for our podcast, Allie, is that Chicago must be listening to our podcast. Because what were we yelling for last week?
What were we yelling for?
For a debut from the rookie Elise Evans. We were saying, you've tried seemingly everything else, and it's not working. You've got one of the best defenders coming out of college. Why aren't you playing her? And guess what? She got her debut. Was it a ton of minutes? No. Did she get a debut? Yes. And that is what matters. So she entered the game in the 83rd minute as a substitute, replacing Sam Staub. Hooray, huzzah. They heard us. I would love to see Elise Evans get some more minutes. I'm so happy she finally got them. So well deserved. For those of you who don't know, she's a standout out of Stanford. Every single game she played in for Stanford, she started. The only games she really missed were the ones that she missed to go to and play in the U20 World Cup. So she's been a 4-year starter, 2-time captain, and just all around great leader for the Stanford Cardinal, and was a standout player. Why it took this long for her to get a debut doesn't matter. We're moving on. I'm moving on from it officially now, and I hope she sees more minutes moving forward.
You're like, I'm done. No, I'm not going to say it anymore. KC Current's woes get deeper and deeper. Boston Legacy beat them 1-0 this weekend. Not again without controversy, with a late red card on Ella Stevens for violent conduct against a player. Again, it was another one that, like, don't argue it. it were a red.
Kansas City has been hit or miss all year. We know this. They really do miss Vlatko Andonovski. Boston has been getting better and better every single week. Is it surprising? Yes. Is it like a massive, huge shock? Not really, just because if you've been watching on a week-to-week basis, it kind of makes sense. Kansas City now, their last win was 4 games ago. Temo Shawinga is away playing in the Africa Cup of Nations, which we know about. Whenever Temo Shawinga is away, Kansas City has struggled this year, and here we are.
No, yeah, absolutely. But, good for Boston. Big result with Utah versus North Carolina. Utah won 4-1. Utah dipped and then have come back again, but North Carolina are still struggling.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
We talked about this last week, Allie, and this is kind of exactly what we thought would go down. Utah needed a statement win. They got it. Yep. They've now won 2 straight, and this Utah Royals team certainly needed it, both as a confidence boost and also to stay in this hunt. Washington Spirit are on 33 points. Utah Royals, with the win, stay just 3 points behind Washington with 30 points. So that was huge for Utah. We talked about North Carolina and how Manaka was having an MVP caliber season. And with the loss of Manaka, this North Carolina team just simply wasn't going to be the same. And we are just seeing that play out. They've lost their last 3. They've fallen out of the playoff line. They're in 9th place right now, 1 point behind Angel City, who are in 8th. And unfortunately for them, Manaka was just that important. I mentioned last week, for me, she was the MVP of the first part of that season. That is a huge loss, irreplaceable. And sadly, I think this is going to be the trend for North Carolina for the rest of the season.
Absolutely, unfortunately for them. Now, this one, Sarah owes the people of Seattle an apology.
I don't know what I said, but yeah, I'm like, what have I know I was speaking highly of them when they beat Portland in the Cascadia rivalry.
You did. It's true. However, we were talking about San Diego, and I believe the phrase were, well, Seattle is Seattle. Came out of your mouth when we were talking about the run of games they had. Turns out not that easy.
I know what I know what I said. That's okay. That's fair. But listen, Seattle fans, in context, it's not as bad as you think it is. Okay. The context in which I said that was that Seattle were coming off of a huge Cascadia rivalry win against Portland. And then they were up 2-0 on Gotham and blew a lead and lost 3-2. And I was just sitting there like, this could have this could have been such a moment where this Cascadia rivalry win catapults you forward. You get a win against Gotham, and then you go into San Diego. And listen, we can't say that Cascadia rivalry, I'm saying it slow because I can't say it correctly, win didn't affect them. They have been catapulted. Yes, they suffered that loss against Gotham. It was brutal. The context was that it was Seattle being Seattle in that moment. So sorry, Seattle Reign fans. It was a brutal loss. I felt so bad for you.
I'm sorry. I'm being mean. It's fine. Yeah.
I just love how they bounced back here. And I think the previous week they proved that they can hang with a top of the table team. And then going into San Diego, it makes us ask more questions about San Diego than it does about Seattle. We have been worried about San Diego since Eugenio went down in international break. They have not been the same since then. They have previously looked like there were just no cracks in the armor, no kinks, whatever. What's the phrase? Chinks in the armor? Whatever. With Eugenio out with that torn ACL, we've seen them all, and they've been exploited since this restart. And so this raises more questions about San Diego than it does about Seattle. Because if you look at San Diego, they can score, but they're not as machine-esque really as they were before. They were shut out by Angel City, and now they've been shut out by Seattle. And that's a lot.
It is a lot. I saw the great comment on this next game from someone going, okay, who paid the Etsy Witch for Washington Spirit? Washington Spirit beat Denver 1-0 and are currently topping the table. Yeah, they are. Maybe they are going to be the brides, not the bridesmaids this season.
Yeah, talk about a machine. This team looks really unstoppable right now. And in my opinion, might be playing the best brand of football at this moment in the league.
They are phenomenal at the moment. And I'm like, you know what? They deserve it. They've really been putting the effort in, and it makes me excited.
I agree.
And then Sarah can rejoice because her faith in Louisville has been repaid with a nice 2-1 win over Angel City.
Yeah, and a brace, which we love to see.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun thing. So yeah, the table keeps changing. As I said, Washington Spirit are currently at the top with 33 points. Gotham are below them with 31 points. Utah have 30. San Diego have 29 but have played one more game, as have Portland, who have 28. The current, we do dunk on them, but they're doing okay. They're sixth at the moment with 25 points. The Pride have 23 points and Angel City have 22 but do have 2 games in hand, and those are your current playoff placed teams.
Everything's a battle. Washington Spirit are trying to run away from it right now, but they're being hunted down. Gotham FC is just 2 points behind them. Utah just 3 points behind them. San Diego just 4 points behind them. Portland just 5 points behind them. But then that's a really exciting race. And then the race for the final playoff spot is going to be wild, Allie. Like Angel City with 22 points. North Carolina's underneath them, 1 point behind. Seattle, 2 points behind. Denver, Houston, and Boston, all just 3 points out of the playoff line. Could it happen?
No.
But
no.
Maybe.
But no. Okay, any games that you are super excited for?
Oh, okay. Well, there's midweek games coming up. So when you're listening to this on Wednesday when this drops, there are midweek games this Wednesday. There's 3 of them, and I think they're going to be fun. So Kansas City is hosting Racing. Maybe not the one I'm going to turn on. Sorry. The one I'm going to turn on is Utah, Washington. It's top of the table battle, and this one's going to be an absolute blast. So I would definitely tune into that one as a midweek game. As far as this weekend goes, what do you think, Allie?
I was going to say, the other game, the midweek, is Sarah versus Allie, because it's Bay versus Gotham.
Hey, now, I still claim Gotham. Again,
I've got a new haircut, feeling fresh, feel like being a little bit of a shit. Okay. I am going through the games. I'm not going to lie, the one that really excites me is going to be Denver versus Boston.
That's fun. But there's 3 games on Sunday, and that's the last one I would have expected you to pick. There's 2 top of the table battles on Sunday that aren't Denver Boston.
Yeah, but I don't always care about top of the table. You've got to remember, I'm a West Ham fan, so therefore I never care about top of the table because we're never there. So
I want to watch a game with the best soccer that I can possibly watch. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm coming from.
And I think that will be. They will.
I don't know what you're talking about here. We were just agreeing that Washington Spirit plays the best brand of soccer in the NWSL. So they're hosting San Diego Wave on Sunday. Why are you not tuning into that one?
Because San Diego have been meh. And they also don't play football I like to watch. Denver and Boston play for Boston a little bit more rough and ready. But yeah.
Oh, man. The other game on Sunday that is also a top of the table battle is Utah hosting Portland. That's going to be really good. One that I think could pop off, Kansas City and Angel City are facing each other on Saturday. And that, I think that could just, listen, that could end up 0-0. It could also turn into an absolute shootout. It could be one or the other. So we'll see. Kansas City is just sitting 3 points above the Angel City in the table, so big table implications on that one.
Yep. Also, Houston Gotham, I think, is another one to circle.
You're circling such weird ones this week.
No, I'm saying Houston Gotham because, and to quote Sam Kerr did not like what happened with Gotham this weekend. They said that it was terrible football and they were lucky to come away with a draw. Houston are a mystery to me. I like a game where I don't know what the outcome's going to be.
I love it. And that's it for us this week at the Women's Soccer Show. Thanks for tuning in. I've been Sarah.
And I've been Allie.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.